The alien woman stepped off her ship, the gravel crunching under her boots in a way that felt oddly grounding after months of silent travel through star systems nobody in the core worlds bothered to name. Her ears twitched, those unmistakable long ears that marked her apart from the usual crowd on this dusty, far-flung planet. "Great," she muttered. "I come all this way, and the most exciting thing is the smell of roasted space rat." She adjusted her jacket with a faint smirk, aware she looked as out of place as a supernova at a candlelight vigil. Her blue eyes scanned the marketplace, a scatter of stalls manned by traders hawking everything from hydroponic algae snacks to questionable hollow entertainment licenses. She wasn't here for the local delicacies or shiny trinkets. She was here because of a hunch, a nagging whisper in her memory she couldn't quite place but refused to ignore. The name of the planet was unimportant. What mattered was the man she had glimpsed earlier. Human, oddly familiar, with eyes that stirred something she thought long dead. He was leaning against a stall, pretending to examine a piece of tech that was obviously broken. When he noticed her staring, he blinked like a character caught mid-hologram glitch. She walked toward him, careful not to spook him. This wasn't exactly a diplomatic mission, more like an awkward cosmic reunion. "Why are you looking at me like that, human?" she said, voice calm but tinged with a hint of humor. "Like I'm some kind of alien exhibit or a lost tourist from the Andromeda cluster?" The man grinned, a little sheepishly. "Well, you are kind of an alien. I mean, you don't see many people with ears that could pick up radio signals from halfway across the galaxy." He nodded toward her ears and she raised an eyebrow. "I'm just trying to figure out if you're here for a genuine first contact or if this is some elaborate cosplay event I didn't get invited to." She laughed, a sound rare and unexpected in her travels. "Cosplay? Please. I'm not dressed for any convention unless it's called Space Travelers Who Never Pack Properly." He chuckled and shook his head. "Fair enough. I'm Leo, by the way. I'm usually better with names, but you're a bit of a mystery wrapped in an interstellar riddle." "Interstellar riddle?" she smirked. "That sounds like a bad novel title. The mystery of the long-eared alien woman who won't tell you her name." Leo grinned. "I'd buy that. But seriously, why do I feel like I've seen you before? Or maybe it's the other way around." He glanced around nervously. "Are you some kind of secret agent? Because if you are, your cover is, well, let's just say it's not very subtle." She folded her arms. "If I am, I'm terrible at it. And if I'm not, then I'm just an alien woman with bad timing and a knack for landing in the wrong places." Their banter eased the tension, but beneath the jokes, a current of something more serious stirred. She studied him, those eyes again. Soft, steady, haunted in a way she recognized. "Tell me, Leo, have you ever felt like your past was a ghost that refused to stay buried?" He blinked, clearly caught off guard by the question. "That sounds like a line from a bad space soap opera. But yes, sometimes memories sneak up on me like space pirates with terrible timing." She chuckled. "Maybe that's what brought me here. Memories with lousy timing and even worse aim." Leo looked around conspiratorially. "So what's the real reason you're here? You don't just drop in on dusty planets for the ambiance." She hesitated, then said, "There's a story. About a promise, a rescue, and a boy with eyes just like yours. It's buried somewhere in the stars, but it feels like it's trying to find me." He smiled softly, the kind that made her heart skip despite years of cold space and colder solitude. "Sounds like you've got a mystery that needs solving. Lucky for you, I'm great at puzzles." She raised an eyebrow, amused. "You're not as ordinary as you look, are you?" "Ordinary is overrated," he said with a wink. "Besides, I have a feeling we're about to make some extraordinary memories." The sun dipped low, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch across time itself. Two strangers, bound by threads of a forgotten past, stood on the edge of something neither could yet understand. She could almost hear the universe holding its breath. And somewhere in the distance, a space rat scampered away, apparently unimpressed by the unfolding cosmic reunion. Leo scratched the back of his head, his grin growing wider despite the knot of confusion tightening in his chest. "Okay, so you say there's this rescue and a promise, and it somehow involves me? Sounds like the start of one heck of a space soap opera." She crossed her arms, her long ears flicking with a hint of impatience. Believe me, if I were making this up, I'd have added more explosions. But this isn't fiction, Leo. It's real. And somehow, you're at the center of it. He raised his hands in mock surrender. All right, let's say I believe you. Where do we start? Because I don't remember being rescued by an alien with pointy ears and a sharp wit. She smiled, the kind of smile that meant she was about to share something precious and dangerous all at once. You don't remember because it happened when you were a child, during the war that tore our worlds apart. I was sent on a mission, a rescue mission. Your parents were caught in the crossfire, and I took you away. Leo blinked. Wait. So you're telling me that an alien woman not only rescued me, but has been looking for me ever since? And I didn't even get a thank you card? She laughed, shaking her head. You were a kid, not exactly in a position to send thank you cards across galaxies. He smirked. Fair point, though I might have sent you a fruit basket by now. The alien woman chuckled, eyes sparkling. I'll put that on my wish list. They walked through the bustling streets, their conversation weaving between past and present, lightening the heaviness with jokes about interspecies misunderstandings and the absurdity of universal bureaucracy. Leo told her about his life, growing up on Earth, his fascination with old sci-fi movies, and his not-so-stellar attempts at learning alien languages. I can barely order a coffee without messing it up, he admitted. Imagine me trying to negotiate peace treaties. She smiled warmly. That's why I'm here, to make sure you don't accidentally start an intergalactic war over a latte. Their laughter mingled, creating a fragile bubble of normalcy amid the swirling chaos of the galaxy. Yet beneath the humor, the alien woman felt the weight of time pressing down on them both. She spoke of the war, the battles fought not just with weapons, but with ideals, and how she had been part of a resistance trying to save what little hope remained. Leo's expression darkened briefly. I remember the news reports, the disappearances, the stories no one wanted to believe. You were part of that? Yes, she replied softly. I fought to protect the innocent, even when the odds were stacked against us. When I found you, I made a promise to keep you safe, but the war tore us apart, and I thought I had lost you. He looked at her, eyes wide. And now you find me here years later, and you want to pick up where you left off? She nodded. I don't expect you to understand everything right away, but I need your help. There are forces still at work, ones that don't want our story told. Leo laughed, a dry, slightly ironic sound. Of course there are. There's always some cosmic villain lurking in the shadows. She grinned. Welcome to the universe. Their banter eased the tension, but it was clear their reunion was just the beginning. They had much to unravel, secrets to uncover, and a future to fight for, together. As the twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the city, they stood side by side, ready to face whatever came next with a mix of courage, humor, and a promise that neither time nor war could break. Okay, so you're telling me, Leo said, rubbing his chin as if the universe itself had just dumped a particularly confusing riddle in his lap, that not only am I the long-lost star of some aliens war saga, but now I'm supposed to help fight intergalactic bad guys? I thought my biggest battle was trying to get my toaster to work this morning. The alien woman gave a smirk, ears twitching in amusement. Turns out the toaster's just a warm-up exercise. You'll get used to lasers and secret codes soon enough. Leo shook his head, still trying to wrap his mind around everything. So, what exactly do I do? Do I wear a cape, learn some fancy alien martial arts, or maybe just stand there looking confused and handsome? She laughed. The last one might come naturally, but seriously, there's more to this than meets the eye. Remember those encrypted messages I mentioned? They're not just random signals. They're warnings. Warnings about what? Space pirates? Rogue AI? A galactic bake-off gone wrong? Leo joked. Close, she said with a smile. But no bake-offs. There's a faction, call them the Shadow Collective, who want to erase certain histories, including ours. They believe some memories are dangerous. Leo's eyebrows knit together. Erase memories? That sounds like a bad sci-fi plot, but here we are. Unfortunately, it's real. They have tech that can wipe memories, Alter identities? They're trying to rewrite the past to control the future. Great, Leo said. So we're fighting against the universe's worst librarians, erasing books, rewriting stories. How do we stop them? The alien woman's gaze hardened. We need to find the original data cores, archives hidden in abandoned space stations scattered across forgotten star systems. They contain records of who we were, who we are. Leo's eyes lit up with the thrill of adventure. Sounds like a treasure hunt in space. Do I get a map, a team, maybe a cool spaceship with neon lights? She grinned. I thought you'd never ask. The ship is a relic, but it flies. And as for the team, you're about to meet some interesting characters. Leo rubbed his hands together. All right, let's do this. But fair warning, I'm better at making bad jokes than flying starships. You're going to fit right in, she said, her tone light but eyes sharp. As they prepared to leave the bustling city behind, Leo glanced back and said, by the way, if we encounter any space pirates, remind me to negotiate with snacks instead of weapons. I'm terrible at the whole intimidate thing. She laughed, the sound echoing in the corridor. Noted. Snacks it is. Together they boarded the ship, the engines humming to life as stars stretched into lines outside the windows. Their mission was clear, their bond fragile but growing stronger. Somewhere among the stars lay the keys to their past, and perhaps the future of countless worlds. And despite the looming danger, they faced it with a mixture of courage, curiosity, and enough humor to keep the universe guessing. The ship's engines hummed like a restless giant waking from a long nap, filling the cockpit with a gentle vibration that seemed to seep into Leo's bones. He glanced over at the alien woman, who was tapping at the console with the kind of focused precision that made him think she had done this a million times before. So, he started, any chance this thing has a please don't crash button? Because I'm already regretting signing up for this adventure. She smiled without looking up. There's no such button, but I do have an emergency eject. It's mostly for when I get tired of your jokes. Great, Leo said, raising his hands in surrender. Just when I thought I'd earned a little sympathy. Their destination was an old space station, once a thriving hub during the war, now abandoned and drifting in the shadow of a dying star. The alien woman explained that the station held one of the data cores they needed to find, a vault of memories that the Shadow Collective desperately wanted to erase. It's like a library in zero gravity, she joked, but instead of books, it's filled with secrets and ghosts. Leo laughed. Zero gravity sounds fun until you try to pour coffee or eat a sandwich without it floating away. Trust me, I've seen worse. Floating sandwiches are a plague across the galaxy. As they approached the station, the ship's sensors picked up faint signals. Old tech, but still alive, stubbornly broadcasting a welcome or a warning. Either way, Leo said, I'm guessing we're not invited. The airlock hissed open with a slow groan, and they stepped inside, the silence thick with memories. The alien woman led the way, her steps sure despite the eerie emptiness. This place used to be bustling, she said quietly. Now it's just a ghost waiting for a story to bring it back to life. Leo peeked around a corner. Ghosts, huh? Maybe it's just space dust playing tricks, she smirked. Or the collective's last defense mechanism. They don't want us here. As they delved deeper, the station's systems flickered, lights blinking, holographic screens sputtering to life. Leo reached out, swiping through the flickering images. Looks like someone forgot to pay the space station's electricity bill. Or it's a trap, she said, eyes narrowing. Suddenly, an alarm blared, red lights flooding the corridor. Well, that escalated quickly, Leo said, ducking behind a console. They raced through twisting halls, dodging automated defenses left over from the war, lasers zipping past, doors sealing shut just in time to block their escape. The alien woman hacked into the station's mainframe with practiced ease, the glow of the console reflecting in her eyes. Almost there, she muttered. Leo grinned despite the chaos. You're like a cosmic locksmith, she rolled her eyes. Flatter me later. We have to get to the data core before it shuts down. They reached the vault, a spherical chamber pulsing with light and energy. The alien woman activated the interface, the core revealing holographic images, memories, histories, voices from the past. Among them, Leo caught a glimpse of a small boy, wide-eyed and scared, and a promise whispered in a language older than the stars. "It's you," she said softly, turning to him. "All of it. Your past. Our promise." Leo swallowed, the weight of it settling in. So the story wasn't just a story after all. "No," she said firmly. "It's our history, and now it's our fight." As the station began to power down, they grabbed what they could. Data chips, recordings, anything to keep the past alive. Leo looked at the alien woman, a new determination in his eyes. "Ready to make some noise?" She smiled, ears twitching. "Let's show the Shadow Collective that some stories refuse to be erased." With the data core secured and their spirits high, they raced back to the ship, the station fading into darkness behind them. Outside, the dying star cast long shadows, but inside, hope burned brighter than ever. Leo sat in the cockpit, hands hovering over the controls as the stars stretched out before them, like ribbons of light. The alien woman beside him glanced over, a playful spark in her eyes. "You know," she said, "after all this, I half expected you to be a natural pilot by now." He smirked. "I'm more of a fly-by-the-seat-of-my-pants kind of guy. And sometimes the pants don't cooperate." She laughed. "Good thing the galaxy doesn't demand perfect pilots. Just stubborn ones." Leo's mind drifted back over everything. The war, the lost years, the promises made and kept. He never imagined that a chance encounter would unravel a past he didn't know he had, or that his life would become entwined with hers in a battle far bigger than either of them. Yet here they were, with the stolen memories in hand, ready to face the Shadow Collective's final gambit. Suddenly, the ship's alert chimed. An incoming transmission. The alien woman tapped the screen. "It's them!" The collective Leo groaned. "Can't we have a break? Maybe a cosmic vacation?" She grinned. "Where's the fun in that?" The hologram flickered to life, revealing a shadowy figure draped in shifting darkness. "You cannot stop progress. Erasing the past is evolution." Leo leaned forward, voice steady. "You're wrong. Erasing the past only erases who we are. Our memories, our stories, they're what make us human, or alien, or whatever the heck I am now." The figure sneered, "Then prepare to be forgotten." Before the transmission ended, the ship jolted. A trap. The collective's forces had closed in, their sleek warships surrounding them like a net. Leo looked at the alien woman. "Well, this is it. Any chance we have a plan that doesn't involve me accidentally pressing the self-destruct button?" She smiled, calm and confident. "We fight smart, not hard. The memories we save contain codes, blueprints, strategies. We're not just fighting for survival, we're fighting for a future where the truth lives." With deft fingers, she initiated a sequence, unleashing a dazzling array of holographic decoys that scrambled the enemy's sensors. Leo's grin widened. "Nice. So we're basically the galaxy's best magicians." As the battle unfolded, Leo found himself surprisingly calm, the weight of his newfound identity giving him purpose rather than fear. Together they piloted through the chaos, outwitting and outmaneuvering their foes. When the dust settled, the Shadow Collective retreated, their plans foiled. For now. Leo let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "So, what now? Do we kick back and binge-watch those old sci-fi shows you mentioned?" The alien woman chuckled. "Maybe. But for now, we make sure the stories stay alive. The data cores will be shared with worlds hungry for the truth." Leo nodded, feeling something shift inside him, a sense of belonging, of purpose. "You know, I never thought I'd be part of something this big, but I'm glad I am." She looked at him with warmth. "We all need a story worth fighting for. Looks like you found yours." As they charted a course toward new horizons, Leo realized that the boy who once floated alone through war-torn skies had grown into a man ready to face the universe. No longer just a lost child, but a guardian of memories, a keeper of promises, and above all, a friend. And maybe, just maybe, someone who could pilot a spaceship without causing a disaster. But that was a lesson for another day.